Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we get to talk about one of the most beautiful characters in all of KOF and really in all of fighting games, and that is Angel. I mean, just look at her, guys. She's absolutely lovely, and it's pretty awesome that she did get some buffs. And just like in the previous video that I mentioned, it's really awesome that we have these EX characters now we can take up to level 90. That is spectacular. But I'm going to show you a little something today that actually shows you that these characters can be really useful, because whenever you have a roster of characters, you can actually get a little bit further along in Absolute War and actually gain you some more rewards for your fame system to level up even further. And the more your fame system is leveled up, the more damage all of your characters on your entire roster or a specific color can do, depending on how you set up your fame system. But Jesus almighty, man, she is so gorgeous. I mean, really, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful characters in this game. Like, oh my god. But I want to talk a little bit about her and how I have her set up. So I'm actually using the Rugal set. There is a set that came with her and Cronin, and I do have it, but I actually feel like the EX set's going to be better for her. And unfortunately, because she's a balanced TIE fighter, there is a balanced set, but it's kind of, I don't know if it's going to be better than this set or not, but we're just going to run with the Rugal set. And I've already done a little bit of testing, and it does appear that she's a little bit weaker than Cronin, but maybe that's because I'm just running a different set, right? With Cronin, I was actually getting more optimal stats from the card set that I equipped on him, whereas with her, because she's a balance, I can't put that same card set on her, and I can't really do the same thing that I did with Cronin, right, to get all those maximum buffs. But with the Rugal set, it's still a really good set, because you still increase critical damage of extreme fighters by 70%. And with her leadership, this is really good, because her leadership is nutty for EX fighters. Deals additional damage equal to 250% attack upon landing an active skill, and there's no cooldown on this, so every time you land an active skill, you're going to get that. And then increase extreme fighter attack by 22% per every 1 power. Now, this is an old set. It's been in the game for about a year now, something like that, maybe a little bit longer. But the way this works is the more power that you have, the more PG that you have, the more attack you actually gain. So if you have 5 bars of PG, you actually gain increased attack by 110%. Which is awesome, guys. It's a lot of power. So whenever you're playing with this card set, you're really trying to have 5 bars of PG. But as you'll see, that isn't sometimes how it works out, because whenever Rugal and Gilray get stunned, you really want to start doing her explosion, which is actually going to remove her poison, right? And so no matter how many bars of power gain she has, I'm going to be using her skills, going to hit her awakened skill and start using her skills, because we want to apply as much explosion as possible. We're using these 2 cards that increase critical rate and a little bit of critical damage, and her 3PG does give the critical rate and critical damage. She's got a lot of these buffs, and if you look at her leadership, I mean, the increased attack by 50% and critical damage by 60%, which is bonkers. It's really good, and maybe I'll try her out with another card set, maybe in another video, but this will be fine, guys, and good enough for what we're going to do, because the truth is, when players are going to be playing Gilray, unless you're a brand new player, or unless you love Angel, or maybe some other EX character, you're just probably going to be using UE characters for the most part. However, there is other game modes that you can use these characters and have a lot of fun with them, like what I'm going to show you today in Absolute War. When it comes to her core, I mean, the way that I had her built before was her first and second skill I had maxed out, and then her third skill was last, and then of course attack, penetration, and so on. And she can actually be a decent support, because if you level up this EX core, she actually increases critical damage by 50% for 15 seconds. So it's a nice little support buff. So if you actually do have this character at A5, you can actually get a support buff from her, which is nice. And she is way stronger. Like I said, not as strong as what Cronin appeared to be, but I am running a card set that is less optimal. I don't have a card set that really works well with her. I mean, if we click on the presets here, there is a set that does apply damage to balance, and that's this set right here. And when a balanced TIE fighter lands a skill, their blast damage increased by 50% and critical rate by 10%. You'll get the critical rate, but she doesn't use blast skills really. She just uses grab skills for the most part, so she really doesn't benefit from this that much. And then she does increase critical damage by 20%. Went up to 120%, so this buff is actually better than that card set that I have equipped on her, because she's only getting 70% critical damage, whereas this one you get 120, and then increase attack by 30% when landing a skill on Starlight and Darkness enemies. She has neither one of these dots, so unless I'm using a striker and there's no card sets that actually give these bonuses, like what we had with the Zhang Fei card that actually applied chill, she's only going to be really benefiting from the critical damage for the most part and this critical rate. And I actually think with the Rugal set getting that extra 250% attack, I actually think it would be better. But I could be wrong, and maybe that would require some further testing. She is A3, and she does have max capsules pretty much on her. And when it comes to her skills, With this character, she does have a tap and go skill in the first skill. You can see she has strike and she has grab. So she just wouldn't benefit from that blast skill at all, which kind of sucks. If she did, I'd probably put that card set on her instead of the Rugal set. But the first skill does give her a huge 600% increased attack, which is new now. That's awesome. You got the 3-second Petrify to all enemies. So whenever she hits in PvP, whenever she hits this first skill, she applies Petrify to anybody, no matter where they're at on the screen. She doesn't have to hit them. This was super OP broken and still is. And in fact, I believe Angel is much better in PvP now than what she was because of the damage buffs that she has. So this was huge for her on top of the extra attack. And now she still has the explosion, right? And then she also increased attack by 300%, active skill damage by 500%. This is all new buffs. The second skill gives her increased target damage by 100%. I believe that's new as well, or PvP exclusive. Disable all enemies' active skills for 3 seconds upon use. And what's great about this is that whenever you use this second skill, this thing can actually get reset. You actually will be able to just grab a hold of them and they can't do anything. If you're disabling all their skills, that means their hyper armor, their super armor, their grab skill, whatever skill they have, their skill 1, 2, and 3, you're going to disable all of them for that 3-second period. You can easily grab a hold of them and knock the crap out of them. I mean, it's pretty deadly, guys. Honestly, this is super, super broken on top of that Petrify. Just broken as hell for PvP. And then the third skill, PvP exclusive, 70% chance to remove that target's hyper armor, critical, and shield. This is still very, very OP for PvP. If this was 100%, it'd be even more broken, but 70% is very high. It's really, really high. And now she has a 4-second hyper armor instead of a 3-second, I believe is what she was. And then her finisher increased target damage received by 15% for 10 seconds by landing a skill. So this can actually increase her damage a little bit as well. The more increased target damage received you have, the more damage you can actually do. So let me jump into Absolute War, guys, and show you what Angel does here. So we're actually going to go against, these UE characters, right? Level 90 UE characters, and we're going to see if we can get it done, all right? We're going to try to get it done with these characters, all right? So Ken can be a real big pain in the butt. So we're going to hit that third skill, and hopefully we can get a hold of them, because she can fly across the screen and actually get a hold of their opponents and start really messing them up. So let's find out. Let's find out. All right. All right. And we just did explosion, and this is something that's really insane about her is her 3PG. I just love it. Oh my. I mean, like, seriously, guys. And boom, right? Easily whoops up on a level 90 UE character. And that's what the buffs do. And that's why it's so great. So now we're just going to go ahead and use Cronin real quick. Right? We applied the Petrify. She was kind of at a distance, so no big deal. We'll do the 3PG here. And we're going to try to get over here. Boom, look at that. I mean... That's what I was talking about yesterday, guys. Like, both of these characters, after their buffs, they're just insane here. They're taking out level 90 UE characters like they're slicing through butter, just absolutely murdering them like nothing. And this is what I'm talking about, where you can use these kinds of characters in here. Both of them are only A3. They're only A3. Even if they was A1, guys, they would do more than enough damage to get it done. Really, all you're trying to do with all these characters is, get their immunity to apply, and then once their immunity disappears, start applying your damage to them. I mean... yeah, pretty OP stuff. And that's nice, especially for you players that don't really have a lot of UE characters lying around. You can use these buffed EX characters to get it done in this game mode and in League Match. Absolute War, you get a lot of rubies from that thing every single week. So that's quite the bonus. And in Time Attack, they're going to be much faster because they can do a lot more damage. And you can have a lot more fun with them in Guild Raid because they're doing more damage, right? So we're going to take her in here, guys. Now, something that's really cool about Angel is she does have poison, right? She can always apply from her second skill, but she also has bleed from her skill, from her core, whenever she does her attacks, which is awesome. It only lasts for about 1 second, but it'll just, apply every so often. So she can actually apply both dots to Rugal to take him down. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just apply the poison. Now, whenever you play with her in Guild Raid, if you're trying to do a bunch of damage, you want that poison applied. You see that green on them? You always want to end on the second skill and apply as much poison as you can. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and do the default. And Rugal should And now we're going to go 3, tap the 1 twice so we get the explosion. Always apply the poison afterwards, okay? And there we go. And I'm using Halloween Angel as a striker because she actually gives an extra 20% more poison. So that way our poison explosion can actually be a little higher, similar to what I did with yesterday with Cronin and Kyo. There we go. Booyah. And we just want to get that poison applied. Okay. Alright, alright. Alright, do our base ace. We're just going to go ahead and do our 3 PG here. And as long as she's doing her attack, she'll apply bleed while that poison is being applied. So she can apply both dots and actually really melt the meter on Rugal, which is nice. So now we're going to apply the poison. Do the poison explosion right there when Rugal's stunned, so we do a lot more damage. He's probably going to explode up here. Come on. I'm trying to hit the awakened skill, but and what I'm doing is I'm trying to break the meter down, and now we can go into our explosions. She just makes the funniest noises. Alright, do our 3 PG, right? And it's super easy with Angel to do this, right? I know a lot of you are going to be like, nah, you know, she's an EX character, we don't need to do it, but it's fun. It's really fun to be able to use these other characters. I mean, it's nice. It's really sweet, man, I have to say. I mean, she is just so fun. Booyah! Apply a little bit more poison before we do the 3 PG. And you really never will get tired of watching this 3 PG over and over. I mean, look at this thing. It's so funny. Alright, we've got him to stun, and now we're going to use our default, apply a bunch of damage. Her voice is so funny. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to hit this, and we're just going to go 3, 2, 3, 2. Oh, that bastard. And now we're going to apply our explosion. And we're just going to do our 3 PG. I could do my default, but I want to see if Rugal will do his explosion afterwards. You just never know. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Sometimes you kind of play it by ear when it comes to that kind of thing. But if you notice, Rugal's always facing down after that 3 PG, which is hilarious. So it takes him a little bit of time to get up. Oh, crap. And she applies that poison no matter where she's at in the screen. Oh, yeah. Beautiful looking character, if I do say so myself. But God almighty, I mean, the elbows, the love pat there that she gives, you know, is so, oh, she's so crazy. Her voice, I gotta give credit to the voice actor. Really fun voice that she has, right? Woo-wee! Okay, do that default, Let's go. And now we're gonna start spamming through our skills. Alright, and now we're going to do our explosion. You only want to do the explosion when Rugal is stunned. But when he isn't stunned, you just want to keep applying that poison. Let's go. You just want to keep applying that poison. Oh my God, man. He is so crazy. Loving it. I could look at Angel like all day. I could look at this girl all day. Okay, and there we go. We'll just end on that 3 PG. Just take a look at this one more time. Oh my Lord. Yeah. I mean, 155 billion, guys. And again, you know, this card set was not as good as the set that we used on Cronin, but because he was a defensive fighter, I had a better set that was available for him. We could take more, we could get more benefits out of that card set for him. Whereas with the Rugal set, it doesn't have as high of buffs, so we just can't do quite as much damage. But Angel is strong as hell. You saw what she did against a level 90 Yue Ken. I mean, she pretty much obliterated him. I mean, she's pretty damn nuts, guys. And honestly, I know for a lot of players, especially in PvP, she's going to be pretty damn godly these days. So guys, let me know what you think about Angel. And I do stream on Twitch and YouTube. The link to Twitch is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.